We can now continue with the next part of our design, which is the big circle in our first wing. Then we're going to do the second one, and then the tiny little circle and the circle around. We will do the same on the other side. We place our pewter face up on our semi-soft surface. We work from the front of our pewter on our liner, and with a medium to a hard pressure we draw in the two first circles. We then remove our pewter from our semi-soft surface, place it on our hard surface, and we flatten from the front. We can then add a little bit of height from the back. So we turn our pewter upside down and place it on our soft surface. Using our paper stamp, we can add a little bit of height from the back. Remember that a little bit of height goes a long way, so we can always come back and add some more height. So I'm going to use a soft pressure and color in the area that I want to raise. We can then turn our pewter back to the front and place it on our hard surface. Use our paper stump to flatten the area around again. And remember to always flatten around the surrounding areas as well, because every time we turn our pewter back and front, the rest of the pewter also bends and creates a negative space. We can then also define our raised areas before we continue with the next design. We can then go back onto our liner and we can do the next circle around. So working from the front of our pewter, using our small Teflon tip, with a medium to a hard pressure, we draw in the next circle around. We can then remove our semi-soft surface, place our pewter on the hard surface, and then we can flatten around again. We can then also tidy up our edges again before we can continue with the next design. We can then place our pewter back onto our semi-soft surface, still working from the front, and we can now continue with the outside frame of our wing. We can do the same on the other side. So working on the front of our pewter, using a medium to a hard pressure, we first do the inner frame, and at the same time we can then do the outside frame. We can do the same on the other wing. First we do the inside frame, and then we do again the outside frame. We can then remove our pewter from our semi-soft surface, place it on our hard surface, and then we flatten on the outside of our frame first. We can then use our paper stump to flatten the inside of our frame. And I'm using the tip of my paper stump to flatten on the inside. We can then tidy up with the Teflon tool. Again, I'm going to use the tip of the Teflon tool to get into the tiny areas. We can then place our pewter back onto our semi-soft surface, and we can now do the other circles that is left. Again, we're working on the front of our pewter, so I'm first going to do the last big circle around, And then I'm going to do the tiny circle in between the two wing raised areas. We can then remove our pewter from our semi-soft surface, flatten around again, and in between the two circles. But we do not flatten the smaller circle areas. We can now continue with the lines on either side. So we place our pewter back onto our semi-soft surface, still looking on the front of our pewter. We can draw in the lines using a medium to a hard pressure. So we're not going to flatten at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise up this area from the back. So we turn our pewter upside down, place it on our soft surface, and then using my hands, I'm going to flatten the entire internal area of the wing. I'm using a soft pressure. I can then take my paper stump and I can define the outside frame of the wing again. And also any other area that needs a little bit of extra height. I'm using a very soft pressure not to destroy the shape of the wing. We can then turn our pewter back to the front, place it on our hard surface and flatten one more time all around our wing. Remember that we're always flattening towards our raised areas and we keep our paper stump at a flat angle. I just made a mistake. I just pressed over my raised area. So I'm going to turn my pewter upside down again and I'm going to fix the mistake with the paper stump, just slightly pressing out the area again. So back to the front of my pewter. On my hard surface, I can then continue to flatten. Once done flattening with the paper stump, I can use my skew flat tip Teflon tool to tidy up the edges. It is very important to have these edges nice and tidy, especially the internal one, before we can continue with the next part of the wing. So that is the first part of our top wing done.